Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith Slaughter, Senior Servant of the Beloved Community Church of Atlanta. Our ministry began 5 years ago with a few dedicated souls who were dedicated to serving our people and worshiping our God. We are a small church. However, since we began, we have slowly grown from a mere idea into a thriving, busy, and dynamic presence in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, Georgia. The coronavirus pandemic indelibly altered the work of our ministry. The food and resources gap between the poor and others has widened right before our eyes. As the world around us changed, we recognized the need to expand our already established food pantry to include a food sharing component for children and adults in our community. We now serve hot meals, sandwiches, snacks, and beverages 3 days a week and provide emergency food pantry access throughout the week. The times required that we expand our capacity to serve, but we had inadequate facilities needed to do the work. To that end, we recently acquired a historic Pittsburgh landmark formerly known as Little Zion Baptist Church. Our plan is to transition our food pantry and resource brokerage center, including a new day shelter component, into the Little Zion Annex of the Beloved Community Church. We need room to grow, and I need your help to make it happen. The food pantry will give community members and their families access to nutritious food in a clean and healthy environment. The Resource Brokerage Center will connect persons to information and benefits available to them, while the day shelter will create space for showers and personal care, cell phone recharging stations, and other help for our unsheltered sisters and brothers. So here's the ask. I'm asking you to be mindful and prayerful around your possible role in helping us to take care of some good people who need to feel the experience of human love, care, and compassion in the midst of their struggle. After considering the possibilities, I ask that you would share your best gift with us to help us renovate the building, put on a new roof, replace the damaged flooring, and rebuild the handicap ramp to make it a bright, healthy, secure space for healing and restoration to occur. I believe that this is good ground. Won't you help us by investing in making Dr. King's vision of the beloved community a blessed reality? You can help us by cash apping us at $the beloved community. You may also go to my website, drfkeithslaughter.org, and make a PayPal donation. But however you give, make sure you give to this good and worthy cause. Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith.
Don't stop just for me.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup,
Get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery or order online at www.sandtownpub.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Republic. My name is Rob Love, and I will be your host as we journey to a world where originality is the oxygen that breathes innovative ideas. Welcome to Guerrilla Republic. Guerrilla Republic draws its strength from the first successful slave revolt in Haiti in 1794. This rebellion exemplifies unity, strength, determination, and the will of God. Our mission is to stimulate minds and expand the dynamics of thinking in our inner cities and motivate individuals to take a proactive approach to life through re-education, self-reliance, and preparedness. Only the realists feel this. Guerrilla Republic is an inspirationally driven brand specializing in highlighting past and present feats of freedom and liberation to create a new lane in fashion through thought-provoking art and literature. Guerrilla Republic possesses an international appeal that immediately commands attention on a global scale. The Guerrilla Republic brand breaks all barriers when building a solid base for originality, creativity, and controversy. Our intent is to provide the world with authentic, socially conscious apparel that is not prevalent in the mainstream retail market. Guerrilla Republic stimulates minds and encourages unorthodox means of creativity through progressive expression. Republic is more than a lifestyle. It is the mind state that reflects the beauty and energy of hip-hop conceptualized through the art of originality. The goal of Guerrilla Republic is to be synonymous with style, quality, and innovation that preserves the art of originality and creativity through the culture of hip-hop. Guerrilla Republic's goal is to be the ultimate brand of operating outside the box of ordinary thinking. The objective is to develop a direct connection to socially conscious and mentally aware individuals worldwide. Our objective, build a position for Guerrilla Republic as the leading authentic socially conscious brand, increase production, product placement and distribution worldwide. Launch Guerrilla Republic line for babies, increase production and distribution of original designs and concepts. Introduce accessories, belts, buckles, beanies, book bags, bandanas, etc. Create apparel for the critical thinkers fusing knowledge and street fashion through the art of originality. Guerrilla Republic worldwide, non-commercial, no compromise. Knowledge power, love sacrifice, vision focus, elevation prosperity, fortune success. Knowledge power, love sacrifice, vision focus, elevation prosperity, fortune success. Only the realists feel this.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing. Come on, run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Mr. Slaughter D call me Trap Pastor. I talk slow, but you know I rap faster. Right. Hard rhymes, I'm as serious as cancer. Recognize you ain't a slave, you a master. Came here on the bottom of the boat. Right. Can't float, so I had to backstroke. Coming up on the rivers that I rode. Every day I slang hope, not dough. Black excellence, down with the team. Malcolm X's nightmare, Martin Luther's dream. Fight the power, can you feel what I mean? Like Rock Kim said, I'm a microphone fiend. Came south on a special invitation. Say a word on the current situation. No delay, no more hesitation. All you fists up, take your reparation, sucker. I know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing. Come on, run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Yeah, so you think you can run away from reality? You think you can run away from the problems? You think you can find yourself someplace else to go where there's no God? Hey, man, wherever you go, God is already there waiting on you.
Man, give
so
me
stop
some,
running.
man. Blow me up,
and
man.
if you gotta run, tie your shoes.
Big head.
Sucker.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Hello. Dear Liv. Mine. What's good? Hello. Thank you. You're too kind. But I deserve it. I appreciate it. That's too much. But I'll accept it. Oh, that's just too much. No, but let it go some more. Welcome to the show. See that? That's all you gotta do to get him geeked up, man. And then I just come up in here and just do that thing, man, that we do on the movement, raw and uncut, and intentionally Afrocentric live streaming infotainment variety talk experience with your brother. Hey, man, I'm glad to be alive. Today is September the 14th. The year is 2021. And you are still alive in the middle of a pandemic. I just came up, man, from the building down the street. And I'm so aware, and by the building down the street, what I mean is the Little Zion Annex of the beloved Community Church of Atlanta, where our food pantry and day shelter operation is moving to. And as I was walking back from speaking with a contractor about trying to get this work done so we can get this place open next month, the weather is changing and people need a place to duck in, if you will. And it's actually been a year since we purchased that building. So it's past due that we get it open, and it's happening. But what became very apparent to me as I was making my way back up from the building over on Smith Street is that there is such a need for this kind of ministry in this place. And when I talk in terms of ministry, what I'm really talking about is just expressions of care and love. What ministry really means is service. And service is providing care with love. This community needs it, but not only this community, but I think all of us benefit from receiving care with love. And since it's more blessed to give than to receive, how about today you share a little care with love with someone who might be in need? You won't know what the deal is. You saw when I was sitting out there on the truck. I was like, I'm waiting for it to kick in. Oh, Lord. I was talking to somebody. They was like, yeah, I got me some. And hell, I went back to the doctor 2 times and got it doubled up and tripled up on. Because we need to have our mood stabilized so we can engage the things that we got to each and every day. You want to know what's going on in the world? Let me tell you what I have learned since the last time I saw you, which would have been yesterday, I guess. Africa News with AFP is reporting that Nigeria is seeing one of its worst cholera outbreaks in years, with more than 2,300 people dying from suspected cases as the West African nation struggles to deal with its impact alongside the coronavirus pandemic. A total of 69,925 suspected cholera infections have been reported since September the 5th in 25 out of the country's 36 states and in its capital, Abuja. And this according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. At least 2,323 people have died linked to the disease so far in 2021, and there are concerns that total figures may also be an undercount, given that many affected communities are in hard-to-reach places. Oh man!
Oh no!
That is, and cholera actually is endemic and seasonal in Nigeria, where only 14% of the 200 million people in the population have access to safely managed drinking water and water supply services. Cholera is a waterborne disease. And in places where it's difficult to get good, clean water, you have those kinds of diseases. Oh, pray for the folks in Nigeria who are trying to deal with cholera and corona. Here in this country, we're trying to deal with corona and a whole lot of damn crazy. Interesting story. Russia. It appears that Africa is just wide open to these major white or non-black countries. Russia now is challenging the status quo in Africa using insecurity and diplomatic disputes with Western powers as a springboard to expand its presence on the continent. And this is being reported by Elliot Smith with CNBC. So, central to this effort is offering alternatives to countries that have grown disgruntled with diplomatic partnerships, and these are what are described as partnerships. No, what Russia is doing is introducing a new style, a new variety of neocolonialism, just as China has done in many places on the African continent. We're talking about from Libya to Nigeria, from Ethiopia to Mali. And Russia, Moscow, the capital, they are making, Putin is making a real hard push to move in and use many of the issues that arise out of neocolonialism as wedge issues. The exploitation that these Western countries deploy in African nations. You know, for instance, you hear there's not a day that goes by that I don't talk about the French and their exploitation of a different African nation through destabilization of their governments, through the orchestration of coup d'états, and the installation of new, supposedly new governing bodies, when really it's the same old European nation controlling the African country like a puppet master. And so Russia wants in. And what that really does is kind of set the stage for international warfare, but for the warfare to be carried out on the African continent. Do you see?
What the hell?
Anyway, you'll hear more going forward, I'm sure. A gunman in Nigeria attacked the prison and freed 240 inmates. Heavily armed men raided a jail in south central Nigeria after blowing up a perimeter fence and set almost everybody in the prison, 240 people, free. That's the difference between Nigeria and the U.S. Yeah, you have 240 people in one damn room in the U.S. 240 people in the whole prison. At any rate.
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, yeah, they killed some guards, it looks like. There have been a lot of prison outbreaks, large prison breakouts in Nigeria in the last couple of years. And all I can say is give us free. Nationally, closer to home, I got a couple of stories I want to share with you. Claudia Rosales of NPR is reporting that congressional leaders and top security officials say that the U.S. Capitol will be well prepared for a far-right rally expected for the area on this coming Saturday. Yes, sisters and brothers. The buck-naked crackers is on their way back to D.C. They angry because of the ongoing criminal cases tied to people who took part in that deadly riot, it was an insurrection, the terrorist attack, the domestic terrorist attack on the Capitol. Well, I don't know if what their desire is to reenact that on this Saturday, but whatever the case may be, top security officials at the U.S. Capitol say they well prepared. They setting out the perimeter fence that they had out earlier. And it's going to be what it's going to be. So we'll see Saturday what the Trumpers do when they all convene in the U.S. Capitol to protest the fact that the country didn't like it, that they attempted to take it over through a terrorist attack. So that is. A Kansas representative has been sentenced to probation after pleading guilty to disorderly conduct charges following kicking and kneeing some students. This is a state senator out of Kansas. Rachel Pilgrim of the Root gets the byline for the story. According to ABC News, Representative Mark Samso pled guilty to 3 counts of disorderly conduct and was placed on a year's probation because he was a substitute teacher, also a state senator, but his job was as substitute teacher, and he jumped on a couple of students and kicked them and kneed them, and he really lost it. And so he had to turn in his teacher's license and on probation for a year for beating up some 15-year-old kids.
What the hell?
Yeah. Man, in Los Angeles, in LA, if you've been to LA lately, then you've seen the situation in downtown. Homelessness is just rampant. And even though black people make up just 9% of Los Angeles County's overall population, they make up over 40% of the area's homeless persons, pushed to the margins after decades of redlining and layoffs and mass incarceration and, of course, gentrification. And so it's nothing like the LA of the 50s, 60s, 70s where black people were thriving. Now, only the privileged few are thriving, and the homeless population has surged. And most of it is comprised of black people who were formerly a part of the middle class. Watch out, Atlanta. So the Atlanta Voice, Lauren Neergaard and Matthew Perrone of the Associate Press as well get the byline for the story. The FDA experts are among the groups who are opposing U.S. booster shots and the U.S. booster shot plan. The average person, according to the article, doesn't need a COVID-19 booster yet. But you know, and I know, the more shots that get sold, the more money Big Pharma gets. And so, of course, Big Pharma is pushing for more vaccines to be administered. At the same time, there are groups of scientists, and in particular, the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration of this country, says that people don't need booster shots at this point in time. And so there's an intense scientific debate about who needs the booster doses and when. But right now, there is no agreement on that, which only makes the rest of us even more hesitant. Finally, closer to home. So in DeKalb County, according to Fox 5 Atlanta, DeKalb County renters and property owners can still file for assistance through the county's rental assistance program, and with one state representative saying that there are millions of dollars in assistance still available. So if you know anyone who lives in DeKalb County who needs their rent to be subsidized, who's behind, there is money available, millions of dollars. Contact the DeKalb County Tenant Landlord Assistance Coalition, and because they are distributing the money. That money came from a $21 million grant from the Federal Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and it has not been fully distributed. So reach out and get your money. All right. That's gonna do it, man. That's enough for today. That's enough news. I'll be back in a minute with more of the movement raw on Uncut. Check us out. Go to trappastor.com. Trappastor.com. And scroll to the bottom of the page. Check us out on Facebook Live, on Instagram TV, on Twitch, and on YouTube. Of course, I want you to subscribe on YouTube. Sign up for the notifications and like us as we continue to traffic in truth-telling. Bringing it to you the hard way. I'm your brother, and I'll be black in a minute, because you know we're open.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG, or sungoddess.sense on IG, or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
What up? What up? What up? Hey there. We back. We black. Slaughter. Movement raw and uncut. First guest today is that applause already? They didn't even tell your name. Nigga, I can't get no applause. You know what I'm saying? But before you even say your name, you go. You must have got him some money too.
Hey, man. Hey. You know how we got to go.
One of the greatest civil rights attorneys of our generation. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, Muwali Bell Davis. I've been thinking about Big Nail. I've been thinking about Big Nail. You know, I see
Big
him.
Nail.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Had a chance to see him.
The original. Yeah.
He hanging tough.
Yeah.
He hanging tough, man. He hanging tough. He's those early stages of dementia, and but when Jane and I got to him, he came to life.
Came back.
Came to life. He came back to himself.
Man, this Muwali. I mean, I've been knowing you, I guess, over 20 years now. And when we first met, our children were shawties, almost. They weren't babies, but they were just above toddlers and not quite adolescents. But man, I had no idea. I thought it was gonna get easier.
Right.
You know, but that ain't it.
It's deep. The shift from raising them to now becoming caretakers for our parents.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, because you see the strongest man you've ever known have to be lifted out of his bed, and you have to talk him into clarity. I'm like, you know,
it's a lot, man. And of course, my mother stays with us, and it's just interesting. I told my brother, I like, my mama is like a bad 13-year-old. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then I changed that up the other day because she was acting like a bad 6-year-old the other day. I was like, Mama, I got you. You know, it's gonna be okay. I don't want you. I'm like, all right then, it's whatever you say. You know what I'm saying? To keep this thing together. So yeah, and my children are just
grownish.
Ish.
That's what's got me.
Yeah.
Like, you doing grown stuff, but I'm having to pay for it.
Exactly. and what's so strange about it is that they have the expectation that I pay for it.
Yeah.
While they do grown stuff.
Total entitlement. Total, absolute entitlement.
I think not.
So it's crazy. So much going on in this world, man, and you continue to offer, and I was talking about it, my mother-in-law earlier, care with love through your work as an attorney. And as I said, you are one of the finest civil rights attorneys of our generation, and beyond a shadow of doubt. And when Muwali Davis and Davis Bozeman law firm becomes involved in something, then you know it's something of something of importance, and something that we need to pay attention to. And so there is a march that is coming up. Could you tell us about what the purpose of the march is, what's the impetus for the march, and why people should be a part and take part of it?
Yeah, the last time I was here, we talked about how Julian Lewis, in my opinion, is one of the worst police shootings of all time. In Georgia.
That's saying a lot.
It's saying a whole hell of a lot. Because here, check it out. Here's what we know is that I don't know of another police involved shooting where the GBI goes and arrests the officer and the officer is terminated.
Mm-hmm.
The GBI was like, oh, this is murder. Mm-hmm. They charge this man with murder. Mm-hmm. They go arrest him. He's held for 100 days in jail without a bond. Mm-hmm. A judge hears the case at a preliminary hearing and binds it over, not with the Derek Chauvin charges. The judge binds it over with a murder charge. Yeah, right. So the highest investigatory body in the state of Georgia says it's murder, and there's probable cause for murder. This Superior Court judge down in South Georgia, I ain't talking about no leftist progressive
right
up here. I'm talking about down in South Georgia, determines that there is probable cause for murder, and then in June it gets in front of a grand jury in Scriven County with 16 whites and 6 blacks, and you know what they do?
Yeah, they
cut them loose.
Yeah, they put the pressure on the sisters and brothers, and
they said, hey, they said, even though they looked at the same evidence as the GBI gathered and got the warrant for his arrest and the judge, they come back and say there's not enough evidence for the case to be indicted. Y'all, we're not talking about a beyond a reasonable doubt. We're just talking about probable cause. Is it possible that this was murder?
Let's, if you would, man, share.
What the fuck?
Share some of the details as to the actual murder itself.
So this kind of stuff is just, Julian Lewis is driving a 96 Nissan, right? So he's driving.
And how old was Julian Lewis?
60 years old.
60 years old.
60 years old.
Okay.
This officer gets behind him, a state trooper gets behind him, determines that he has a broken tail light. This is over a broken tail light. Julian Lewis is on a road that is dark. It's a dirt road. And so he continues. We think he's trying to get to a place that's better lit.
Right.
This trooper decides to perform a pit maneuver on a dirt road.
For a broken tail light.
Does a pit maneuver. So he hits the back of his car, spins him out. His car hits a tree and kind of slides into a ditch. The trooper says, as he gets out of his car, Mr. Lewis is revving the engine and turning the wheel like he's trying to drive it at him. But check, the GBI's investigation shows that when that car hit the tree, it dislodged the battery. So there was no way, there's no power to the car.
Right.
There were no lights on. We saw the photographs because after the grand jury didn't indict, the family and Attorney Francis Johnson, my law partner, and I, we went, and the DA, we said, show us everything. Show us what you showed them. She shows us everything, and we're like, the picture of Mr. Lewis with a bullet hole in his forehead, his foot is not on the gas, his hands are in his lap, the wheels are turned away from the officer. The officer shot Mr. Lewis within 1.6 seconds. Less than 2 seconds when he took his foot off that brake. So he didn't even have time to say he could see him turning the wheel and revving the engine. He didn't even have time for that. He literally jumps out and summarily executes this man. And that is why the GBI was like, oh, this is murder.
Is that cruiser cam footage or body cam footage?
So we watched footage. So but no body cam, but they have the cruiser. And here's what's crazy. After he shoots him, he's yelling, put your hands up, put your hands up. He done shot the man in the head, and he's acting like, you're not following my instructions.
Right.
I mean, it's their training on cover.
Right.
And then he leaves outside the range of the vehicle so you can't hear it. The first 2 calls that he makes, his wife and lawyer. Third call is to EMS.
Wow.
I mean, this is as blatant as it gets. Yeah. And then you have
cold-blooded murder.
Just cold. Yeah. And then you have this grand jury come back with a no bill. So before the DA represents it, because she only gets one more chance to represent it, Our position is there has to be a federal investigation into the murder and into the grand jury.
Yeah.
We want to know, were there relationships on that grand jury that had them compromise and just turn a blind eye to the truth?
Yeah.
And so that's what the march is about.
When does the march begin?
March starts on Thursday, 2 days from today.
Where geographically does it start?
So physically, we'll start in Sylvania at the murder site.
Okay.
We'll do libations. We're going to honor the ancestors, and then we're going to start. And we will go 12 miles a day. It's 63 miles in total, 12 miles a day. Then we'll go back, rest, turn around, do it again, each day until we march into Savannah on Monday to the U.S. Attorney's Office and demand that there's federal intervention.
Wonderful. Is there a plan to get some kind of national exposure for this march and for this particular case?
We're pushing it. We're pushing it. We've been putting it out. Set up the website justiceforjulianlewis.com, justiceforjulianlewis.com. So we're pushing for that level of engagement across the country. What we really want to see is we want to see people. We understand that Thursday and Friday, that's tough. Folks working.
Yeah.
We clear about that. But Saturday and Sunday, we'd love to see people pour into, and we'll be doing a caravan from our office in Savannah to the site. So if you go to the website, you'll see, all right, where do I meet this day and at what time? Then we'll caravan to the starting site. People will unload, stretch out. We'll get some music going, get our prayers and libations, and then we'll get rolling. It's like 3 half marathons each day for 5 days in a row. So it's going to take its toll. But what we want people to understand, and I think what's important, is that we have to demonstrate our resolve.
Yeah.
We have to demonstrate our resolve. It's like fasting or, our prayers. We gotta do it with our feet, do it with our bodies.
Yeah, man. That is. I'm looking forward to seeing it. And I'm looking forward to the impact that this kind of direct action can bring as relates to drawing attention to not only this case, but just in general.
Yep.
I mean, lately, since George Floyd's case, there's this idea that, okay, white police stop killing black people.
We done fell back to sleep.
You know what I mean? But I'm well aware and clear that is not the case. However, it appears that media have turned a blind eye.
They've lost their appetite for it. And the question, and this is the question I raised last night in one of the interviews, is we saw what appeared to be some of the most diverse marches. You know how long we've been doing this?
Yes.
Right? I mean, bro, this has been really black folk in the street for a century.
Yeah.
In our lifetime, all of our marches
lives
have been black folk. Then there was this shift, and allies joined us. The question is, will they continue? Is this was it just a moment, or is it a movement? Are they going to reconnect and plug in when they hear something as atrocious as this? What will these marches, these days of marches look like? Will we have allies step two and say, you know what? I wasn't in it just because it was the thing to do. I'm committed to this.
Yeah.
Like we committed to this.
Yeah.
And so that's the difference. My thing is, I'm always looking for modern day abolitionists.
Right.
And so if y'all appear, rock with us. If you're scared, stay away.
How far is it from here to Savannah?
It'll be a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to organize.
Any collaborations going thus far?
That's what we're working on. So we should have a bus in place for Saturday.
Okay.
And Savannah is on fire. Savannah, man, it's a strong community. Folks don't realize that Savannah has a deep history. Of,
Black Mayor in Savannah as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brother.
and they got some real powerful Black city council women
Okay.
who don't play the music. You know, they don't play no games.
Yeah.
They real. And so, and then you just got that history in Savannah of folk who have.
Man, that's that 40 acres and a mule
Yes,
territory
sir.
right there,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah, hey, the brothers and sisters series. I interviewed a brother, was it Pharrell? What was his brother's name, man? Down there in Waycross. Just going ham,
Man.
you know, because the white folks be going ham.
Yeah,
and so black people have to stand up and resist, or we just get rolled over and absolutely just pulverized.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that you're involved in this and that Davis Bozeman law firm is involved in this effort. The brother's name again is
Julian
Lewis.
His son's name is Brooke Bacon, and what we've committed to is that Brooke won't march alone.
Right.
He won't march alone. If it's just 3 of us at the start of this thing, it's what it is. But he won't march alone.
All right, this is on my mind. Ain't no telling you might see me, brother.
Hey, bro.
I mean, I got stuff to do, but still, this is very important, and I want to be a part of bringing attention to this kind of movement, not only for our dear brother Julian Lewis,
but for all of it.
Yeah, because I'm a 60-year-old black man. Hell, I thought once you get white hair on your face, police don't kill you no more.
Man,
like shit, no.
Ain't none of us safe.
Yeah, ain't nobody safe.
None of us are safe.
Yeah, what was it? If Helen Johnson wasn't safe, what's that the lady's name? You know who the police killed?
Oh, Catherine Johnson. Man,
if she
in her
wasn't
house.
safe, yeah.
You know,
you know I ain't safe, bro.
Brother, thank you, man. We appreciate.
Thank you.
Appreciate the platform, all the work. You know, at this point, man, it's just about consistency.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what it is.
Folk, and it's amazing. You and I have been around long enough to see folks that come and go.
Yeah.
But we have to, you know, keep the light.
Stay the course.
Yeah, you gotta stay the course.
Yeah, you bro, you're amazing, man. I don't know how you do all that you do and how you maintain, but you do it.
Jana.
Yeah, yeah.
You know them queens holding up.
Yeah, my brain is out of town this week, so I don't even know if I can think things through.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I meant my wife.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, brother, I thank you for coming through, and I want to encourage folks to join. How can people reach out and get information?
Got it. Just jump on justiceforjulianlewis.com. There's a volunteer. You click on the volunteer. Folks will call you back. We got brother C.J. Jenkins from the Working People's Party as our lead organizer on it, so he's on the ground. We got security, you know. So we focus. We focus, man. This is I've never done this one before. So here we go.
Well, hell, what was it? A month ago, you was arrested in D.C. So.
Right. So I got all kind of new. That was the first time I was arrested for protest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been arrested for other things.
They got me a long time ago about getting arrested for protest.
See, normally I'll be supporting y'all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get y'all out of jail.
Well, but we need you to stay out though as much as you can.
Exactly.
But I understand your passion behind this particular case. Julian Lewis was murdered by police down in Scriven County,
Georgia,
and so we rising up and taking a stand and pushing back because we exist. We must resist.
Exactly,
and so we do.
I say,
ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please join me in thanking my dear brother, attorney Muwali Mail Davis.
Appreciate you, man.
The son of Big Mail. All right, what's happening? What y'all doing? What you do? I don't understand what y'all doing. Y'all trying to make me jump off the stage? Okay, there we go. Negroes got so many damn buttons, man. They just be hitting buttons. All right, we'll be back in a minute with more of the show. My next guest is on deck, and we're going to continue trafficking and truth-telling here on the movement, Raw and Uncut.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Beneath me, the sounds of Ryan Kilgore, friend of the movement. Oh, yeah. So, make sure that you go out and take some time out of your time to join Davis Bozeman Law Firm, Muwali Davis, and the good people who are part of the coalition. So I thought I had a guest. I was getting ready. He old like me, right? So yeah, things happen. You had to go to handle stuff. I want to invite you though to make sure that you make your way to Scriven County and be a part of the march to bring attention to the failure of the grand jury in Scriven County to indict the murderer of Brother Julian Lewis, killed on a dark country road in South Georgia by the police. We need to show that his life was important and make sure that justice is carried out as relates to this particular case. My next guest is in the room, in the building. I guess he's coming up, and Don coming too. All right. Well, cool. I didn't know everybody, the whole family was coming. Come on up, family. Y'all know Dawn. She's a friend of the movement, and I'd like to introduce her though. However, she is an activist who is particularly concerned with the rights of those who have been incarcerated and prison reform in general. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, Sister Dawn Arthan. And my guest who is joining her is also involved in the prison reform movement here in the state of Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, join me in welcoming Bishop Booker Terell Moore. Turn that mic up, man.
All right.
Hey, you.
Preacher gotta have a mic. All right.
Yeah, preacher need a microphone, man. But don't start hollering, no, Bishop. All right, don't holler. I holler Sunday.
You guilty.
I'm gonna holler a little bit. Did I holler Sunday? I holler a little bit, then. Yeah, I don't holler like I will holler, but yeah. I holler a little bit. Yeah. Welcome, y'all. Glad that you are present today. Prison reform, I know for you, Dawn, is the primary focus of your work. Tell me how you and Bishop Moore came to be involved in this work together. How we gonna? I don't even know what we're gonna. See, we didn't know. Obviously, Craig didn't know it was gonna be two folks.
We just recently connected Bishop Moore, stepped up to is to get clergy organized to lead a candlelight vigil that we'll be having this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Vigil will be at 7 o'clock following a 5 o'clock rally at the Capitol, across from the Capitol. And
In the Liberty Plaza over there, yeah.
Plaza,
Mm-hmm.
and the Department of Corrections in the Floyd building.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Yeah,
we
Sloppy Floyd. I
There you
always
go.
wonder where the hell he get that damn name from.
Only in Georgia.
And why would anybody put that on a building? You know what I mean? I would just say, you know, hold the nickname, you know, for the building, you know what I mean? Just call me Mr. Floyd, the Floyd. You don't have to add the sloppy.
It's worse than Bubba.
Yeah, that's crazy. So talk about the crisis in Georgia's prisons. Where do you see Georgia's prisons now? How bad is it?
It's really bad. It's bedlam right now. It's daily. People are dying daily from stabbings and other kinds of attacks and lack of medical care. It's just, we've been saying it was a crisis for a while now, and it's beyond that now. It's chaos is what it is. Mostly for a whole lot of reasons. Primarily right now, urgent because of the understaffing. And the lack of attention or care, concern on the part of our governor and the commissioner of the Department of Corrections.
Yeah, it's you know, I've heard horror stories. I had a guest on, I think last week before last, who it was last week. What they have begun is a program whereby they help the family members of persons who are incarcerated to stay connected. They actually go pick them up and transport them, give them the training that's necessary to go in and not get kept. You know, to go in and not have to stay in. It's just bizarre the treatment that prisoners actually undergo. And this, I think what they were concentrating on is the idea that the whole 13th Amendment and the section of the 13th Amendment which allows for the treatment of imprisoned folks to be as if they were slaves is actually being carried out in the here and now today.
It is, except for, the involuntary servitude was banned, except in the case of those who've been convicted.
Right.
And that's still in our Georgia state constitution, so that's a part of the legislation that we kind of push for next session, and that's always been taken up by the Legislative Black Caucus. But we have so many horror stories we could use to illustrate.
Bishop
Okay,
Moore,
on September 4th, there was a stabbing that occurred at Ware State Prison, and the guys inside had to call.
Dawn, take that mic from Craig. He wants to give you that microphone.
The guys
you got,
inside,
okay, now pull that one to you, brother. Thank you. We're going to make this
Sean
work.
got stabbed, which is a really more than daily occurrence. There was nobody there to help. They couldn't find anybody in the staff, so the guys inside had to call 911 and get an ambulance to come to the prison to render medical care to this person. Yeah. And nobody from the security in the prison or medical showed up until the morning. This happened that night. Yeah.
Wow,
and there's many. Yeah. So what?
It's just sad. I don't know what it takes to convince other humans that persons who are incarcerated are human, because the idea, the idea in when it comes to the imprisonment of black people, particularly, but anybody who finds themselves running afoul of the law and who ends up in prison, you lose certain rights, right? But I don't, just in my view as a human, I wouldn't suspect that people lose their humanity because they are incarcerated. How did you become involved in this movement, Brother Moore?
I want to say that I'm grateful to be on your
program. Glad you're here, brother.
This
Welcome.
Is a wonderful privilege. I became a part of the prison system after a situation that occurred in my own personal life. I got a chance to go to prison to see the inner workings of the prison system. And because of my ineptness to go and study what they do, it is a $1 trillion business.
Right.
And it's all about business. And what it has come down to is accountability.
Okay.
There are people that are receiving monies to house and develop prisoners so that if they do get a chance to come back into society, they will basically give them a task to prove that they're worthy to do that. And that is through the, what system is it? But anyway, and what has happened is these custodians that's keeping these people, what is happening right now is there's a great atrocity because of the lack of accountability that prisoners are executing prisoners. We're here today because we're concerned about the prison system, but there are people that have had sons and to go to prison and they're dying in the hand of the state.
Yeah.
And there is no accountability. And
Right.
that's what we're concerned about. We have mothers right now at this visual that we're going to have on the 17th. It's imperative that we do it. We're trying to add light to their situation and to say to our government and to the state, because we house more people in the Georgia system than many of the states across the country. The reporting system of how we care for prisoners, how we protect prisoners is so low and so degrading, and that we have F's all across the board about how we have done what we need to do according to the statute of prison governments across the nation. And so we want to bring this to light. We want to say to these caretakers, because monies that has been spent for the prison system, I'm talking about billions of dollars. You got,
and we need to be clear, billions of taxpayer dollars.
Taxpayer dollars.
There's a way in which our money is used to be harmful to us.
Yes.
It's extracted from our labor, and we find ourselves and our loved ones being brutalized through the use of this funding that comes from us, which makes it, ironic at least and tragic in a very real way.
And because we refuse to bring on qualified personnel inside the prison, there's another government that's taking over.
Right.
Gang wars, and these guys are being murdered and killed. And one of the things that they're doing is they're videoing this and sending it back to the country, all over the nation, seeing people die in prison. And we've got footage of activity of that such. And we're saying in our coming together, we've gone far enough. And we're ready to take a stance and to say, if you're going to take accountability, because we have over 50,000 prisoners in the Georgia system, that far exceeds, more prisons across the nation. And so when is it time to do the right thing? We're saying right now. Now, what's interesting about this is the reason I'm interested in the prayer visual is because the church has detached itself from the reality of prison. And there are pastors that I know across the nation that are great pastors, but guess what? Because of the pandemic, they have stepped away from the office of care and servitude. And I am saying that in this prayer visual, we need to be launching an effort, and it gives the church an opportunity to come and congeal with us, and that we become one voice. That these parents that have lost sons, and and that they know that there is a people that is concerned about your needs. And we're standing firm to say unto the government, hey, listen, it's time for you to be accountable. There's excess money. You can't say that you don't have money to pay for other help. Listen, I looked at the prison in Mississippi. In Mississippi, Parchment Prison did something unique. What did they do? What they did was, when they saw that gang activity was growing, I mean, profusely into their prisons, they went to Louisiana and Angola's prison, and they brought some of the roughest and toughest leaders and caretakers and brought them into their prison. It changed the whole dynamics in their prison system. We're saying that whatever we need to do about the policing, the deaths in prison, which when a kid goes to prison, he goes for theft of a car and he ends up with an added death sentence. It is not fair.
Right, you're absolutely correct. It's, there's so much malfeasance, so much just neglect as relates to persons in our community who end up becoming marginalized persons because of their status as being an incarcerated person. And I agree with you that it's not fair, but you know and I know that we get taught that if you get caught, you have to pay a price. But I tell my children, I tell my sons almost every day, they've heard this more than anything else they've heard probably in the last, since they've been teenagers, which is, baby, they ain't looking for nobody but you. They are only looking for you. They want somebody young and they want somebody black to fill their prisons. So you got to distance yourself. I wonder how the church can become more involved in not only care for persons who have been imprisoned, but also to become involved in some preventative measures, as well as to try to become a part of the process of reclaiming and reintroducing people who have been incarcerated back into this world. And I don't even know how, I think what y'all are doing is important, but I don't even know how you intercede in another world, because but prison is a parallel universe. Yes. It's a whole different set of rules, different set of guidelines, whole set of different interpretations of what is reality. You got a whole different economic system, a whole different political system, that's operating. And I think that it's just hard to crack into that kind of culture that is now like just a part of being an incarcerated person. I mean, I speak as somebody who's been locked up a couple of times. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I didn't like it neither time. Neither of the 3 or 4 times that I found myself locked up. Because I always used to be afraid, like, all right, this place gonna catch on fire and ain't nobody gonna let me out. Who gonna let me out? Ain't nobody gonna be around to let me out. So I think it's important that you and Don and others who are a part of this movement to bring attention to what's going on inside those walls. Are you in any communication, Don, with any of persons who are in prison?
Yeah, sure. Quite a few, and it's good information, and they also have, many of them have brought lawsuits, so we can really, I'm getting an education on that end of it. I would like to say that one thing we want to get the word out to churches particularly, and everyone in the community, but is that there are steps that they can take inside that will, for instance, the Department of Justice has dedicated an email to Georgia alone. They want to hear all the stories from Georgia, all the evidence, and that's going to speed up their investigation.
Okay.
So
there is a federal investigation of Georgia's prison system.
Yeah, it's going on. They've been collecting data for about 2 years now through this particular We've been sending them information.
Mm-hmm.
If people inside, if they knew instead of stabbing each other, that they can get together and file grievances, it make a huge difference. They don't recognize that maybe sometimes they're scared to speak out, sometimes they just don't care. Or
Well, I mean, there's but of course, but of course, you're aware that there's a punitive side to speaking up. You go either you get punished by the COs and the administration in the prison, or by the brothers who actually run the block. I mean, snitches get stitches for real,
Right,
you know.
But everybody eating the same terrible food and not getting the medical attention. So it's not even so much that those it's not a snitch issue.
Mm-hmm.
Their civil rights are violated, each and every one of them,
Yeah.
every day, all day. And if we can have gang summits out here that sign treaties, why aren't we working with the brothers in there to get together and put the shivs down and start picking up the pen and speaking out? So
This is a tough one. It's a tough one, Don. You're right, though.
I want to speak to what you're speaking to, and then I didn't want that to overshadow what we're trying to do with the visual, but I have a program that is already in place, and it's just a matter of finding a location to get it started. What we do is we teach the GED program. And then not only the GED program, we teach all kind of skills, CDL license, plumbing, masonry, and all of these other skills. We're just waiting on the location so that we can do preventive measures, keep guys from going to prison, give them a life skill that they can take back to their communities. Even those that will be released, we can help them in such a way. But what has brought my attention to this issue is that if we don't make a clarion call to all of the churches, to all of the communities, that it is our place to stand in the gap for people that are in prison, has nothing to do with the gang activities, but their lives are caught in this cesspool. And we want to throw out a lifeline. And we come to places like this because you have a vast audience and the listening crowd. You know, all of us are affected by jail and imprisonment, but we can change these dynamics.
Yeah.
And if we can get pastors to come to the vigils, to stand and bring your crews and bring choir members, and we can do a prayer vigil, and we can cry out to God, the God that is the keeper of all good and perfect gifts. We can then change these dynamics, and that's what we are.
No doubt. Tell us when and where. Again.
The rally?
Where's your mic?
The rally will be 5 o'clock at Liberty Plaza, across the behind
Right
the
from the Capitol, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
on Capitol Avenue and MLK. And
And
then
when
at
is it?
7 o'clock, a vigil, and many of the
7 o'clock when?
7 o'clock on Friday the 17th.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday the 17th. Okay, good. That's why you're the host. And there will be family, mothers whose sons have been violently died violently inside Georgia's prisons. Some of them will be present. We're inviting more, and we're gathering the names. We want to honor the names of those who we know, and that's another issue because the Department of Corrections doesn't tell the whole story.
Right.
We don't have all the information, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, this is a huge, huge issue, but I'm glad that you both are involved in bringing light to it, and the more light that is shown upon it, the more movement we can expect to happen. And so I thank y'all for standing up for people who are voiceless and who find themselves behind bars.
Lest I forget, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma at Morehouse College, and I want to say to all of our Sigma brothers, this is a great opportunity for you to come together to the forefront and help us with this cause.
Ashe, thank you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, Bishop Moore and Sister Dawn. Put your hands together. All right, when we come back, my next guest is on deck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll be looking forward to it. We'll be back with more of the show. Next guest on deck. Y'all stay tuned. Get ready. He's the exciting, dashing, and prolific Ray Grant. Professor Ray Grant on the other side. All right, y'all. We'll be back in a minute.
Greetings. We would like to take this time to invite you inside the world of Guerrilla Republic. My name is Rob Love, and I will be your host as we journey to a world where originality is the oxygen that breathes innovative ideas. Welcome to Guerrilla Republic. Guerrilla Republic draws its strength from the first successful slave revolt in Haiti in 1794. This rebellion exemplifies unity, strength, determination, and the will of God. Our mission is to stimulate minds and expand the dynamics of thinking in our inner cities and motivate individuals to take a proactive approach to life through re-education, self-reliance, and preparedness. Only the realists feel this. Guerrilla Republic is an inspirationally driven brand specializing in highlighting past and present feats of freedom and liberation to create a new lane in fashion through thought-provoking art and literature. Guerrilla Republic possesses an international appeal that immediately commands attention on a global scale. The Guerrilla Republic brand breaks all barriers when building a solid base for originality, creativity, and controversy. Our intent is to provide the world with authentic, socially conscious apparel that is not prevalent in the mainstream retail market. Guerrilla Republic stimulates minds and encourages unorthodox means of creativity through progressive expression. Guerrilla Republic is more than a lifestyle. It is the mind state that reflects the beauty and energy of hip-hop conceptualized through the art of originality. The goal of Guerrilla Republic is to be synonymous with style, quality, and innovation that preserves the art of originality and creativity through the culture of hip-hop. Guerrilla Republic's goal is to be the ultimate brand of operating outside the box of ordinary thinking. The objective is to develop a direct connection to socially conscious and mentally aware individuals worldwide. Our objective: build a position for Guerrilla Republic as the leading authentic socially conscious brand, increase production, product placement, and distribution worldwide. Launch Guerrilla Republic line for babies, increase production and distribution of original designs and concepts. Introduce accessories, belts, buckles, beanies, book bags, bandanas, etc. Create apparel for the critical thinkers fusing knowledge and street fashion through the art of originality. Guerrilla Republic worldwide, non-commercial, no compromise. Knowledge power, love sacrifice, vision focus, elevation prosperity, fortune success. Knowledge power, love sacrifice, vision focus, elevation prosperity, fortune success. Only the realists feel this. 1794 to the world blow.
I'm just bothering the bishop, just bothering with it. Hey, man. Who is that, man? That's Ryan Kilgore? Who is that? Oh, Brooke Alford, okay. Welcome back to the show. Slaughter. Movement, raw. Uncut. Beneath me, the sounds of Brooke Alford, friend of the movement. Violinist. She dope. Good to hear her copper stuff. We love her. Appreciate Don Arthan and Bishop B.T. Moore for stopping through and kicking it with us. Also, attorney Muwali Davis for coming through earlier. Now, we're going to switch gears a little and bring forward our guest who is present today. I've known this brother for, 30-some years, man. He is a writer, actor, comedian, husband, father, entrepreneur. Did I say author? All right. You seen him on Def Comedy Jam back in the day. That was one of the happiest days of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, join me in welcoming my dear friend and brother, Professor Ray Grant. I forgot Professor. Yeah, just come on, yes. Let's see. Get over here, I'm a grip too. Yeah, I'm a stage grip and all that too. I do all that. Professor Ray Grant, what's good, man?
Man, I'm good, man.
You got a
No,
one and
same
two.
book, same
Yeah,
books.
old sayings I just made up. And
Yeah, man.
What's this your latest movie or what?
Yeah, my latest movie.
Okay. Yeah, you just walk around with shit in your pocket, huh?
Yeah, man. I actually just finished that about 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Anybody talking to you about it? You got any?
Yep.
Doing
I'm,
some shopping? Doing a little shopping?
No, actually, we're gonna. I'm working with Melvin Breeden. He's the owner of Radar Live and Big Cat Records. Yeah. He's a producer of Gucci Mane.
Okay.
Signed Gucci Mane.
Mm-hmm.
Produced Eminem. But he's here in Atlanta.
So we're doing for the movie.
We're gonna take his acts on his label, his artists, and integrate them into a movie,
Right.
comedy in Atlanta.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Why not? Let's do it.
Also, how I met him, they hired me to write the script for the Booker T. Washington docu-series.
Okay.
Finished it already.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, that ought to be dope.
Hey, let me tell you something, team.
Yeah.
F. Keith Slaughter graduated from Tuskegee, and I taught at Tuskegee.
Yes, you did.
And
that was your first job out of school, wasn't it? Out of your
first teaching job.
First teaching job.
I was
out
an
of
academic counselor at the University of Iowa for
Right.
3 years.
Okay.
Where I went to school.
Right.
And
You graduated from.
Yeah. I went to writer's workshop.
Right.
I was only chip in the cookie.
Right. Right.
Writer's workshop.
Only chocolate chip.
Only chocolate chip in the cookie.
Yeah.
So
did I say that this dude is a comedian? In case I didn't tell y'all, he's a comedian. Oh, shit.
So when I got to Tuskegee, my first teaching job, I met this brother. Let me tell you how I met this brother. He's my fraternity brother. But I don't think you knew I was an Omega. I don't think.
At night when we first met, I didn't.
I don't think you knew I was an Omega. So anyway, I'm in my office in Huntington Hall, before it got burned down.
And they charged me with that too.
Yeah.
No, they did. I had to go get interviewed about that shit, man. I was scared as hell.
I didn't know.
Because I had never seen a fireman with a gun before. Because I'm laughing. I'm like, y'all got to be kidding. He's like, this is no laughing matter, son. I'm like,
I had just left, so it wasn't on me. They had to find another black man.
They tried to put that shit on me.
So this is how I met this brother. So I'm in my office chilling, preparing for class, my syllabus. I get a knock on the door. F. Keith Slaughter walks in, a student at Tuskegee, got his chest out. I heard you from Iowa. I said, what? Yeah, you teaching here. Are you going to teach us from a black perspective? I looked at this fool. I was like, we about to wrestle, throw some furniture around up in here.
Oh, man.
He said, we don't like you.
That's funny.
That's how we met. Then he found out I was Omega, and he would always come by my house because I had this musical equipment.
You remember when I made my first record at your I was a DJ, okay? I was a news director of the radio station in Tuskegee, WBIL. And I had my first opportunity to actually be a DJ because I was a news director. I wanted to be a DJ.
DJ, a rapper. Let me tell you something. This brother invited me to his first rap show, right?
Gigolo Tony. Y'all don't know nothing about Gigolo Tony.
So he invited me to his first rap show. So they on the stage, rickety stage, barely standing up. So F. Keith Slaughter's on stage with his mic, got his 3 dancers behind him, the women. So they doing a running man. and he's trying to rap, and the stage is about to come down. So F. Keith Slaughter goes, chill, my dancers. So
I was doing my hit song, I'm ready to kill the enemy. You remember that shit? The enemy, I'm ready to, my name is Slaughter D, and I'm ready to kill the enemy. And the well, I've been crazy a long damn time, bro. I forgot about that, bro. I forgot about that.
I'll never forget it.
Oh my God. All right.
Bro, you invited me, and I was in the front.
Yeah.
I was like, this brother, does he have
that was a long time ago,
liability
Ray
insurance for this show?
That was a long time ago. But you know, our headliner was Gigolo Tony. You, Bigley. You remember Gigolo Tony, don't you? From out of Fort Lauderdale. Hell, I ain't lying. I'm serious.
It was anything you go, bro. Tuskegee was a world within
itself.
itself.
He had a jail called Trues and Vogues. Shit. I'm trying to tell you, boy. Ray Grant, man, you've been
Bro, I need a towel. I'm sweating.
Yeah, me too. I didn't even mean to get this excited. You funny to me, though. You always kill me. So, you did Def Comedy Jam back in the 90s.
Yes, sir. You can actually go on YouTube and pull it up. Professor Ray Grant. You can pull up my first performance.
I love your brand of humor. I like dry, esoteric humor. You know what I mean?
on Def Jam, I did a routine where I encouraged all the black people in America to pool their money together. And we were going to go buy a real big boat. And then sail over to England and just steal a whole bunch of white people.
Yeah.
And take them to Africa.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I did a whole routine on that, man. And,
yes, that's.
And then I did the routine about the first.
That's reverse racism, like
the first slave comedian. I did the first slave comedian.
Yeah.
He was in the field picking cotton and making everybody mad because he was telling jokes while we were mad.
Oh man, where does this stuff come from, Great Grant? Man,
you know, my biggest influence was Paul Mooney.
Okay,
He was one of my biggest
late great.
influences, Paul Mooney, and you know I would go watch him perform and everything, and he just inspired me to talk about.
Yeah, could you imagine interviewing him and what are you? What are y'all doing, man? Are y'all trying to run me crazy today? Is that what it is? That I was like, I got my medication regimen right, and now y'all
they pulled up one of my performances.
Yeah. Thank you. My goodness.
That was BET.
Yeah. Comic View.
Yeah, that was Comic
Yeah.
View.
Where does this stuff come from, man? You from Chicago.
Right. Oh no, I'm gonna tell you a serious story. Comedy always comes from a serious place. And I'm telling you now, this is something I never really told anybody. But when I was 15 years old, you know, my 25-year-old sister committed suicide.
I didn't know that, Ray.
Was on the phone with me. Did it. So I was 15 years old, and that affected me for the rest of my life. So I always would look at life this way. Whatever problem you have, if it doesn't result in death, it's not a problem. And that has always been my mantra since then. And so everything to me, I find humor. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
I can be at a funeral and find something funny.
Yeah.
I'd be at the funeral like, I think I saw the body move.
Yeah.
And the person next to me,
you just do the look, does it?
I can't help
it. Man, I know what I was going to ask you before they sent me somewhere else. I was like, could you imagine interviewing Dick Gregory and Paul Mooney at the same time, and both of them was having a bad day? If you can imagine
where
that.
would come from.
Yeah, I mean, and I was trying my best, but that was a tough one, boy. That damn Paul Mooney, and Dick Gregory was a cantankerous bastard, you know. And in their old days, I'm saying in their old age, both of them Negroes was mean.
He was
man.
the first black comedian that got on stage by himself and told jokes to a white audience. Because they didn't allow one black person on stage. It had to be a duo,
right?
You know, like Stephen Fetchit or something like that. It had to be. It had to be Stephen Fetchit and
because they had to
else.
be talking to each other. You can't talk to white folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Dick Gregory was the first one to sit on stage and talk and tell jokes.
Yeah, he was a bad man, but Paul Mooney just an excellent writer, a creative and brilliant mind, fearless kind of comedian that would bring to bear real issues and cause white folks to have to look at themselves.
And another thing about those things happening to me in my life and looking at life that way, I would also look at society that way too. So I would analyze every fight. Like we have fights, and I hear black leaders always talking about changing the system. The system's never going to change because everybody keeps slaughter. Everybody is fighting the wrong thing. We got 100 leaders out there. Everybody's fighting different fights, which is cool, but it's never going to work. Never.
What's the answer?
Martin Luther King wasn't going to work. Malcolm X going to work. What I'm doing, what you're doing, not going. This is the problem. When our kids are sent to school, we send them to school to be taught by a white system that is promoting white supremacy.
True.
Soon as we go to school, we learn everything about them, although it's deemed as truth. It's not truth, it's mythology. We're learning white mythology from kindergarten all the way through college.
Yeah.
I don't care if we go to a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, or if we go to HBCU, it's still the same books.
Yeah.
Our kids are learning the same thing that the white kids are learning. they're learning white supremacy, and we also are learning white supremacy. We're
Right.
learning to promote it because their heroes are our heroes, even though their heroes were the ones that murdered us.
Yeah, and it's confusing. It's the irony and the hypocrisy and just the perversion of truth and reality is just commonplace, and we accept lies as truth, and we see that which is abnormal.
And no matter what we do, even the most prominent black people will send their kids to predominantly white schools to be taught by people who don't care about them.
Right. To hate themselves.
To hate so
yeah.
So now it's kind of like this. I was raised by my mother. Dad left when I was a kid. So this is where the self-hate comes from. I went through it when I was a kid. I have 4 older sisters raised by my mother. Now, men would come by the house and the women would tear their asses up. Men ain't shit. Men ain't shit. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. Men ain't shit. Men ain't shit. So, but they look at me and go, but not you. I was a boy.
What do you do with that?
No, but you're not. You're not. You're cool, but the men ain't shit. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I was a kid. So F. Keep Slaughter, one day, I look in the mirror, I'm a man. I became that thing that I've been conditioned to hate.
Yeah.
So now I'm confused. Now I'm looking for a woman who also hates me. Because my sisters were taught to be confident. So when they became adults, they were confident, but they hated men. So now I get with a woman that hates me, but I feel comfortable with that kind of woman. So I hate myself, and I'm in a relationship with a woman that hates me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell, me too. Hell.
So now I feel comfortable with that kind of woman.
Yeah.
So now I had to understand that thing.
Yeah.
I had to understand that thing, and I had to come to grips with my reality.
Yeah. I mean, Ray, let me parallel this. My mama, I was raised by my mama, right? Me and my brother.
Right.
Our dad abandoned us when I was 10 years old. My brother was 4.
Right.
My mama said, "You're a smart boy." And she said this in front of me. "Y'all smart boy. You can be anything you want to be. Just don't be no damn preacher." And both me and my brother are preachers.
But think about
the thing that she hated.
And
is
think
what
about
we
it.
became.
Right. And that,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
now you're that thing.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I had to force myself, and this is how I cured myself. I found black men that were raised in the 2-parent household. And I would go by their homes. I would study them. I would listen to them. I would date women, and my friends would say, "She ain't the one." I'm like, "She's not the one? How do you know?" They would run down what they say a good woman for me would be. And I was like, oh, I didn't trust it, but I knew they were right because I was wrong. It had to be a right
you
somewhere.
were confused. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in a relationship with a woman. I'm in love with her, but she hate me.
Right.
And I hate myself.
Yeah.
So, but I was attracted to that. So now I meet this woman who wasn't raised like that. This black woman that wasn't raised like that. And I didn't know how to treat her. I didn't really know how. I had to learn how to treat her. I had to learn how to get along with her. I had to learn how to understand that she was accepting what I was saying as a man. This other woman was not.
Right.
So I had to get in, going back and forth and learn how to deal with a woman who wasn't broken like me. So I was trying to fix myself and get in a relationship with a woman who wasn't broken, which I learned how to do. I've been married. I've been with my wife now 28 years.
Okay.
29
I think I've been married 28, 29 years.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was able to do that only because of that.
Yeah.
So I cured myself. And I think that most black men need to do that. We need to go out and understand that about ourselves and cure ourselves. We have to now understand that we are broken and we hate ourselves, and then we hate the women that we're in a relationship with. It ain't gonna work. But we don't know that because that's what we're used to seeing with our sisters and our mothers.
Yeah, yeah.
So
once heard, and I say this often, mothers, well, not just psychological theory, but mothers teach their daughters to be mothers. They teach their sons to be sons.
Yeah, see that?
You see what I'm saying? And what we end up doing is kind of engaging this kind of arrested kind of development. And I think that, you know, up until one is in the probably mid-30s, black men tend not to develop into adults until the mid-30s. When you met me, I might have been in my 20s, like my mid-20s, but I was insane, bro. I was actually a walking crazy man.
And the thing about you was that you were so forceful and influential with the way you move. So you had a lot of influence. Just imagine you saying how insane you were, but imagine that was the agenda that you were pushing because you had so much charisma and you had so much influence. You know what I mean? I was that same way.
Interesting perspective. You know, I remember from there, I remember when you left Tuskegee, you launched, and after a year or so or two.
Let me tell you what happened to me.
What happened?
I would have remained at Tuskegee, but the older black professors at the school tricked me. That was my first teaching job. I knew nothing about tenure. Nothing about that. I didn't know what tenure was. And they were like, you need to apply for tenure. What is this tenure? No, man, you need to really do it. Get your everything together and apply for tenure at Tuskegee. So I was like, okay, well, I know they're not going to steer me wrong. I don't know what it is. So I put my package together and I submitted it. I got rejected. I did not know once you get rejected for tenure, now you have to leave the university.
Oh,
I did not know that. They got me up out of there.
Damn.
Wow. I was teacher of the year 3 years. I was there.
Wow.
And I didn't know that they had.
That's a wicked game.
Yes,
but
sir.
I often say, bro, that there are the organizations that I know of to be totally rotten to the core. Number one is the church. Number two is the academy.
You know why?
Totally cutthroat, rotten politics that are in the. And I work at a seminary, which is a cross between the church and the academy, which means it's the most grody, grimy, rotten space on the planet. Yeah.
You know why? Because the stakes are so low.
Say more.
The stakes are low. Think about it for a second. How low are those stakes? What are the risks that are involved being in an environment like that? When you have trouble in life, first place you go is to church or to the school. That's the lowest. People are usually at their lowest point when they're going to those places. They need help. So the stakes are the lowest for the institution. So the fight is more vicious in those environments.
Wow.
You don't have to be a go-getter entrepreneur to go into those environments, because you wouldn't go into those environments. You're going in there for help. You're at your lowest point usually. You're starting out, you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's a place where people can take advantage of people like that.
Damn, that's an interesting perspective, Grant. And you got plenty of those.
Bro, I've seen a lot in my days.
I own these texts. Old sayings I just made up, and old sayings I just made up too. And it's filled with those kinds of insights and perspective, deep introspective thought.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a modern or postmodern philosopher by anything?
I consider
postmodern urban philosopher.
I heard you speaking earlier, and you were talking about how there was like an alternate universe in the prison system. Actually, the prison system is the way of the real world. Outside of the prison system is not. Because when you break all these rules outside, where do you go? Exactly. So these rules were made by who? Exactly. These rules were made by those that colonized and oppressed. And they weren't settlers, they were invaders. They the ones who made all the rules. Every rule when we walk out this door are made by white dude.
Yeah.
Stop sign. You got to stop here. You got to drive on this side. You got to go here. You got to do this. You got to register for this. My name is not Ray Grant. Your name is not F. Keith Slaughter. Those are European names. We don't even know our names. We don't know our language. We don't know exactly where we're from. We don't know anything about ourselves. So that's not really the real world. The real world is the prison because you've broken their rules.
Damn. All right, Ray. I'm gonna do this here though. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna try to stay out here in this fake world and don't go into the real world as best I can. I've been evading that as best I can.
Matrix, my brother.
I wanted to talk to you, man, about living life in the coronavirus era. But perhaps we can do that the next time.
Okay.
All right. Man, I need you to come back and kick it with me, bro. I've been missing you,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you something.
What?
Just a little bit about the coronavirus. That thing has done horrible things to people, and it's done great things to people at the same time. We'll talk about that next time.
We'll do that. You're going to leave that heavy weight on the table. And when I get back with you, what's this? September, say in November, you get you back on the show. We'll do that. You would be my Thanksgiving guest for the Thanksgiving Gala. And thank you for being here because we're celebrating a year of the show this month. We started 12 months ago this month.
I didn't even know you were here. I was still thinking you were on A-OK. And you told me you got
I hear they still play some of my commercials. Yeah, they fired
brother.
me.
But he felt bad because he got fired. But I told him I was the first one to get fired from that station. So I was the pioneer. He thought he was the pioneer.
Oh, man.
I was just Savo.
Yeah, they gave it to me. But you know what?
They fired me for telling the truth.
Same thing they got me for.
I didn't know.
But I swear,
like,
man, I if people don't believe me, but I'm serious. I have never, not one day in my life, did I enjoy waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there to do a show. I never, not one day did I say, da-da-da, I'm happy to get up today. I ain't never said that, not once. But not having to get up and do it, I say thank you to God. I mean, really, I tell God thank you for that every day. Shit, they won't pay me no money, no way. Hell,
they fired me. They paid me. They fired me and paid me, and they showed me the closest door to the street. But they paid me.
Yeah, I ain't get too much money out of them. But I get it. But the law been taking care. The law been blessing. So we all right. Man, it was good to hear you. Good to see you, bro.
I didn't mean to get too deep.
No, everything beautiful, man. Yeah, this is how we do around here. We talk about it all every day, Monday through Thursday. We take off Fridays because white folks don't go to work on Friday. Neither do we. You see what I'm saying? So we take off on Friday. But thank you for being here, bro. Yeah, I made that rule. Okay. Yeah, the hell they
now
made
you understand. Now that's how we got to change the rules.
Yeah, and make them our own.
Well, we had advantage.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, Professor Ray Grant.
Thank you for having me.
Postmodern urban philosopher. Keep that. That was my gift to you. It's my gift to you. All right. Look here, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. The Lord say the same thing. I thank all my guests today. It was a dope show. Thank y'all for putting it together and allowing me to be a part of it. I'm getting ready to roll up out of here, though. If the right music start playing, I'll start saying what I got to say. There you go. That's my latest jam right there. Peace to peace. To the Archbishop and the Holy Family, to the below community I love so well. To my video engineer. To the Grand Imperial Slice Master Supreme. Big, not little. AC in the place to be, my crack research staff. And you, hell, all I want you to do is love me. I'm gonna love you back. I'll holler at you tomorrow. Peace to the people, power to the people, and rude to the nasty.
Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves of sheep clothing. Run away.
The mouth of the wise teach knowledge, but the lips of the fool talking foolishness. Almighty, me not like them hypocrites, me not like them parasites. Them scheme by day, them plot by night, striving on the plight of the poor and the sufferers. Oh, Jah know them a backstabbers, Jah know them a bloodsuckers. I can't take them vampires, 'cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I'm on fighting for what is right. No, nah, give up the fight. Fighting for truth and rights. Up full in a Jaja side. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we have to fight with all we might. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we keep out all them parasites. 'Cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. is the lifeline, the substance of the beast. They have been shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. Oh, it's the nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. The blood. Blood of my people. The blood. The blood. Blood of my people. The blood. No more. They devise all kinds of weapons, then using them to kill my people. Some are famous, dangerous, and deadliest weapons. ICBW, chemical and biological weapons, like AIDS and Ebola, weapons of genocide against my people. They're instigating strife and war among my people, setting up the climate for the blood to run. The blood have to run for the base to feast. Oh, it's the nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. The blood. Blood of my people. The blood. I cry. The blood. Blood of my people, the blood. The blood. Blood of my people, the blood. The blood. Blood of my people, the blood. They are shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. They are shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more, no more. Our blood will shed no